Ooh, I pull up with 200 bows on my run. They was already sold when I said.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Process Sports Radio. Once again, I'm your host, Justin Pooney. I hope you guys are all doing well. You guys are healthy, chilling out, enjoying summer the way it is. It's been beautiful weather of late here in Vancouver. I know I have, and man, it's been a minute since I've done an episode. I really want to enjoy the NHL play-in series, right? Of course, the Canucks. I also want to enjoy the bubble, catch up all the sports. And I want to wait till after the play-in run series were over to kind of talk about them and kind of get started on that, and also talk about the bubble's life so far. And man, it's going to be a fun episode today. And because finally, after 5 long, excruciating, painful, disgusting, horrendous, just the worst years ever, the Vancouver Canucks are finally back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And my God, I am so happy. I have not been this happy about the Canucks in such a long time. As well, we're going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and how they need to blow up their roster, why Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl need to blow up at the Oilers front office. And finally, I'm going to talk about the NBA, what's going on in the bubble, the beefs, the who's been playing well, the who has been playing well, and why my homie Skip Bayless really triggered me this morning to the fact where I changed one of my NBA Finals picks. So that's all going to be discussed today. I'm super excited to have you guys here. It's a big episode. We're going to finish this summer off right. We're going to take this thing to the next level. Let's go. But before we get into all of that fun stuff, I want to thank you guys for your support on the fire new merch. As you can see what I'm wearing right now, it's been nothing but positive all about it. I mean, look at it. It looks great. The navy pops. The hoodies are fly. The tanks are fly. The t-shirts, the long sleeves are all great. I've had so much inquiries about it, to the point where I am going to do another merch drop. So please stay tuned on Instagram and my website for that at processsportsradio.com, and of course at Process Sports on Instagram. I also want to thank the beautiful Chelsea Shoker for helping me out with my merchandise giveaway. I will be messaging the 2 lucky winners this week, so please stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome. I have great gift baskets lined up for the 2 lucky winners. And finally, guys, please like and subscribe to this video on my YouTube channel. Please listen to this and subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever you listen to, you know I'm there. And also, finally, check me out on social media, of course, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know the drill. Like I said, guys, I couldn't be here without you guys. I love and appreciate all the support you've been giving for me. I thank you guys all 1,000 times, and I'm in debt to all of you. So thank you guys again. But let's just jump right into it. So on Friday, the Vancouver Canucks defeated the Minnesota Wild in an overtime on a shot by one of the most unlikely sources, Chris Tanev, who was with the Canucks back in those glory days and finally brought them back into the playoffs. Man, what you guys don't understand, I was jumping up and down, screaming for joy, back like I was 10 years ago, back in 2011 when they were making those runs and the playoffs and stuff like that. It was something unbelievable, man. I know, I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit over the last 5 years with my whole Canucks fandom, and I wasn't really putting too much interest in it. But at the end of the day, man, this team, the Canucks, they're with me till the day I die. I'm going to be a Canucks fan till the day I die, right? Same with the Seahawks. I'm going to be a Seahawks and Canucks fan till the day I die. They cause me the most pain, but they also give me the most amount of triumph in my life. And, man, seeing that shot go in overtime and seeing them celebrate and seeing just the city erupt and get behind this team, man, it's beautiful. And I love it. I was so happy. And for Chris Tanev, a guy who doesn't score a lot of goals, scoring that goal in overtime against the Wild, put him in the playoffs, man, it was poetic, I tell you. And then for everybody that's saying that, oh, you cursed the Canucks for saying that they're going to sweep the Wild and all that, man, shut up. They won. They gave them a game and they won 3 straight, didn't they? They won 3 straight after playing the worst game they could possibly play in game 1, where, man, I thought the world was falling down and everybody was losing their mind. Oh my God, Jake Virtanen, put him back in. Oh my God, blah blah blah. Look, at the end of the day, they got their act in order, and it wasn't Jake Virtanen that did anything. It was the big boys that did it, that stepped up. The big boys starting off with Brock Besser, scored timely goals. You could see he was playing with a fire and burn in his belly, and you saw how he's developing. JT Miller's been the heart and soul of this team the whole year. That trade was an absolute perfect move. The best move possible. Whether it's blocking shots or scoring big goals, JT Miller's that heart and soul guy who definitely is what the Canucks need to have success in the playoffs. Then you got guys, of course, like our captain, Bo Horvat, who, man, he scored that clutch goal in the game 4 to tie the game late in the third period. And that got me feeling some type of way where I thought I knew the Canucks were going to win after that. I knew they were going to win because I knew they had come back. Their captain, Bo Horvat, who has been dominating the faceoff circle all series, had scored goals, but he scored that timely goal in game 4 to tie the game. I was pumped. And at that point, I knew the Canucks were going to win. And I knew at that point the Canucks were the right decision making. Bo Horvat, the captain of the team, he is exactly what they need as a captain. He's a leader. He's a hard-nosed player. He plays the game the right way. Bo Horvat is exactly what the Canucks need in a leader, and he's a great, great player. Now, you had Jacob Markstrom, the team MVP, who, yes, had his shutout and his very solid moments in the series, but he also had some low moments as well, especially in Game 4 where he didn't play his best game. Markstrom did not play his best game. He let in a lot of soft goals, but the team picked him up and he made the timely saves in the third period in overtime. Well, he didn't make a save in overtime because the Canucks scored 11 seconds in, but he did make very timely saves, and I do think Markstrom, they wouldn't be here without Jacob Markstrom, right? The Canucks wouldn't be in this position had it not been for Jacob Markstrom's heroics all year. He's the team MVP. He's the backbone of the team. Finally, even Elias Pettersson, he didn't play his best series. He didn't light it on. He played very well, but, he'll get better. He's playing playoff hockey. He's got a lot of attention on him. You saw that in the Minnesota series where guys are ragging on him, trying to knock him off his game. And, he punched back. Literally. And I like to see that with Pettersson. He's not going to be a pushover anymore. He's playing hard, and I think personally that, he's just going to get better and better as this playoff run goes on. But finally, man, I want to talk about Quinn Hughes. You guys that are not hockey fans or casual hockey fans or whatever, you guys need to understand this. Quinn Hughes is the future of the Vancouver Canucks. He's the best player in the Vancouver Canucks, and he's going to be the best defenseman in the NHL. Quinn Hughes is something just so special on the back end. To put it in terms that is simple enough for people to understand, the way that Quinn Hughes can spin off checks, he looks like he's 14 years old. Quinn Hughes looks like he's a 14-year-old kid playing in a grown man's league, and he's making grown men look silly. The way he can pick up the puck in the defensive end, spin away from a check, take the puck and push it right back up, it's uncanny, man. Like the way this guy can skate, handle the puck, quarterback a power play, make plays. You saw that play on that 2-on-1 with Pettersson in game, I think it was game 4. It was game 3 or game 4, 1 or 2, sorry. Unbelievable. Quinn Hughes is going to be the best defenseman in the NHL. The way he can carry the puck, his poise, the way he just all the tools he has. He's going to win the Norris Trophy for years to come. He's my rookie of the year. And I don't care. Cale Makar is a great player. But Quinn Hughes is just something else, man. He's elite. He deserves every penny he's going to get on his next contract. And I'm telling you right now, he's the best player in the Vancouver Canucks. I'm sorry, Elias Pettersson fans. I'm sorry, Brock Besser fans. Quinn Hughes is the best player in the Vancouver Canucks, period, end of discussion. And he was going to be that for the next 10 to 15 years. Quinn Hughes is that good of a player. And I want all of you guys to understand that we are seeing something special here, and he's just going to get better and better and better. So cherish it. And Jim Benning, open up that, and Francesco Aquilini, open up that pocketbook because you're going to have to be paying that man, and he's going to deserve every penny he gets. So with the Canucks' victory in that series and finally making the playoffs, yes, the Canucks are finally in the playoffs. They get to play the defending Stanley Cup champion, the St. Louis Blues. And you know what's fitting? Because I guess to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! To quote Ric Flair. But I do think this is a really good matchup for the Canucks because the Blues have struggled this so far in the bubble. I haven't watched very many of the round robin games just because I watched like a period and a half of it, and it was like horrible compared to the play-in series, right? The St. Louis has not won a game in the bubble yet. They have been playing horrible. They went from the number 1 seed and they fell all the way to the 4th seed. They fell, right? So I do think the Blues do have the championship pedigree, and my head says they will win. I want the Canucks to win. My heart, with all its might, want the Canucks to win, right? But my head thinks that the Canucks are just starting off from this run of becoming a playoff contender to becoming a Stanley Cup contender. I think the Canucks, this is the start. The rebuild's over now, guys. The rebuild is over now. It is now playoff contention every year, and it's going to be expected now that the Canucks make the playoffs every year. But going back to this series, I do think it's a good matchup because St. Louis has not been playing well. I don't know if they can just flip the switch and jump into playoff mode like that after seeing the Canucks playing such a hard-fought series playing playoff-like hockey for 4 straight games in a battle against Minnesota. The games weren't easy, and they were physical. This was probably the most physical play-in-round series of all of them, where guys were scrums after every whistle. There was fierce checks, fights, just a tough game they were playing. And you know what? That's good. That was good for the Canucks. It kind of woke them up, put them into that playoff atmosphere where you're going to need to have that grind and that mentality and that toughness to win in the playoffs. And that's how St. Louis plays. St. Louis plays very similar to Minnesota. Now, St. Louis defense is much better. They have a top 6, where Minnesota maybe has like a top 3. It's going to be interesting to see how the Canucks can adapt. Their top players on the offensive side can adapt to those St. Louis defense, right? I do think Markstrom is better than Binnington. Yes, Binnington had a great playoff run last year, but I think Markstrom is better than him. So I'll give the Canucks the edge in that. St. Louis up front has guys like O'Reilly, Tarasenko, so they have some big guns up front, but I do think the Canucks have just as many weapons up front. The Canucks won 2 games this year against the Blues. They lost in overtime on that 3-on-0 where everybody just stopped playing defense and it was stuck in the corner where the Blues went on a 3-on-0 for the whole length of the ice. But I do think the Canucks have a very good chance to at least win a couple games, maybe even win the whole series, right? So I do think they're going to catch a lot of people. I don't think St. Louis is at its peak. I do think that this whole bubble situation, playing those round-robin games, didn't really do much for them. So I do think the Canucks have a very good chance of winning. But I do think the Blues have that championship pedigree, and they have they know what it takes to win in the playoffs. The Canucks don't have that yet. And I feel this will be a good learning step for the Canucks, playing the defending champions, understanding what it's like to win in the playoffs. You have to learn to win before you win, right? This will be a good learning step for the Canucks, and it's going to be the first year of the playoffs and potentially even longer playoff runs, right? So I'm going to say good. I'm so happy the Canucks are back in the playoffs, but I don't see them beating St. Louis. I hope with all my heart they do, but I don't see it, so I got the Blues in 6. Next, let's go wrap around the NHL a little bit. So, first of all, Lafreniere is going to go to the Rangers. I guess that's what they deserve after getting absolutely boot-fucked by Carolina. Carolina is a dominant team, man. Like, Carolina is a really, really good team, and I think Carolina is going to make a lot of noise in the playoffs right now. So, that's that. Next, I want to say I'm sorry to all Montreal Canadiens fans out there. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I thought this team was dead in the water. They were a hot pile of trash, and Pittsburgh would just steamroll them, and that did not happen. In fact, Montreal did the exact opposite. They steamrolled the Penguins. Carey Price, Shea Weber, all the guys up front, their role players up there, they played great, and they beat Pittsburgh fair and square, and they dominated them. And what do they get? They get to play my Stanley Cup finalists out of the East, the Philadelphia Flyers, who are the hottest team in the NHL, and the Flyers will sweep the Canadiens without question. I am so sorry about the Canadiens fans, but the Flyers are going to steamroll and just sweep the Canadiens out of the playoffs. I think the Flyers are too good and too loaded. Now, I was wrong about the Edmonton Oilers again. I thought guys like McDavid and Draisaitl would, lead these guys over the Blackhawks. I thought that it was going to be an easy win. I thought Chicago wasn't very good. Hell, I don't think Chicago is very good. I just don't think the Oilers have a very good supporting system and supporting role players that will help McDavid and Draisaitl to win. You have guys like Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto, all these guys. I mean, they're nice pieces. They're not the guys you need to win a championship team. These guys are too good, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, to be out of the playoffs every year. And I'm telling you right now, they need to do something. They need to go to Ken Holland, demand a trade, do something to get these guys to wake up and build a better roster around them, man. You have 2 goalies that are backups in Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. You have no goalies. You have no depth. Your defense is, it's pretty bad, right? You have 2 generational players, 2 of the top 3 players in the league, in my opinion, on your team, and you cannot make the playoffs. You cannot beat Chicago in a play-in series. Like, seriously. Like, do something, Ken Holland. You were there. You built those great teams in Detroit. Do something with this team. Dave Tippett, you guys have these 2 pillars, unbelievable players on your roster. Do not piss their future away by putting them around with ineptitude, right? James, the real deal, Neal. No, he's not the real deal anymore. I'm telling you right now, the Oilers will only be successful once they put a supporting cast around those 2 guys that are willing and are proven and are good winning players. They don't have that now. They don't have any of that. The Oilers need to get their acting straight. But the one thing I was right about in this play-in series was, and the one I'm most happy about next to the Canucks win, was the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs lost to John Tortorella and the Columbus Blue Jackets. I am so happy that the fucking Leafs lost. The fact that the Leafs with their big boys and Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, all those guys, they're not in the playoffs this year. And I'm so glad, because you know why? I love the fact that this team gets their fan base so hyped up every year that, oh, this year's our year. Finally, since 1967, we're going to end the drought. No. The drought's going to continue. It's going to continue for a while, because I'm going to tell you why. Pajama boy John Tavares fucked you guys over. The fact that John Tavares wanted to wear his Toronto Maple Leafs pajamas every night and come home to Toronto screwed you guys over. You know why? Because that's another $11 million contract you had to hand out to him. And guess what? You can't build a team around that when you have 4 or 5 guys making like $10 million plus, right? You guys have no defense. You have nothing above those guys right there. And Freddie Anderson, as good as he is, he's not a championship goalie, because you know why? They haven't won a playoff series since 2004. Yes, 2004, when I was 8 years old. Okay? When I was 8 years old, the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won a play-in series, when Matt Sundin was playing hockey and Daniel Alfredsson had hair. They haven't won it since. They're not going to win anything. They're not going to win anything anytime soon until they fix that, and they, like the Oilers, build a roster around those players that they have and build a team that has good role players. Right? And you know what? I hope Columbus does go on a little run, because I do like the way they play, actually. I think Columbus is a very hard-nosed team. I think Korpisalo is a good goalie. Seth Jones is a stud. Pierre-Luc Dubois. I like Columbus actually a lot. I just want to see Torts win, man. I know he sucked here in Vancouver, but Torts has been good everywhere else, right? So that's kind of what I'm saying right now with the NHL. It's going to be interesting how the first round starts. Like I said, guys, I can't wait for that. And the NHL hockey has been great, especially the play-in series, and it's going to be something awesome to witness. But let's go over to the NBA, into Orlando, into the bubble, where the bubble has had its fair share of entertainment, where we got the defending champions, the Toronto Raptors, my pick to go to the NBA Finals out of the East, proving me right and showing the world why they are the defending champions. And you know what's funny? I was watching Richard Jefferson the other day, and he was saying, oh, what do you expect? Like, yes, they've been playing really good, but they're not the same team. They don't have Kawhi. You know, Richard Jefferson, shut the fuck up, all right? Next of all, the Raptors are proving to everybody that they are the best defensive team. They are a bunch of professionals. They just play their game. They play their game, and they're winning. And I'm telling you right now, they clinched the second seed. They won 50 games again. They're going to make it to the finals, because you know why? Ben Simmons looks like he's out for the rest of the year. Joel Embiid is not going to lead the Sixers past anybody else. It's only a 3-horse race. It's the Bucks, you guys know how I feel with the Bucks. Giannis or bust, and Giannis is not going to be able to lead a team without a jump shot, right? So I think the Raptors are definitely going to take the Eastern Conference over. I like the Celtics, but they're too inconsistent. So the Raptors are going to win that. No problem. No problem, but I do pick the Raptors to win the Eastern Conference, like you guys know. So the Raptors are going to keep on going. Nick Nurse, coach of the year, in my opinion. He's just done an unbelievable job. Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Marc Gasol, man, everybody just playing unreal basketball, and I'm super glad to see it. We got another championship run coming from the north side, and I love to see it. But let's go to the Western Conference, where it's much more exciting, because, like I told you guys before, my last episode, the Portland Trailblazers are going to get that 8th seed. Memphis has been horrible. New Orleans has not done anything. They are eliminated. Yes, the Phoenix Suns are playing really good. They're 6-0 right now in the bubble, and Devin Booker is a flat-out baller. For those of you guys that don't know, all you casual fans and all of that, Devin Booker is a flat-out stud. He can drop buckets on your head top whenever you want. He shot a game winner over Paul George again. I'm going to get on my little rant about Paul George in a minute, but I think the Suns have been amazing. Devin Booker's been cooking, but they're not going to beat the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers are playing with that desperation that they need to play with. You have Damian Lillard, who is a top 5-6 player in the league. You have CJ McCollum, who's playing very well. You have your bigs in Nurkic and Hassan Whiteside. Gary Trent Jr. has been hitting threes like no tomorrow. I never even know about that. He's like TJ Warren. TJ Warren's been the bubble GOAT so far. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. has been the biggest surprise so far. But then you got my man Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony has been playing so well in this bubble. Slim Melo has been playing so well. And I'm so glad to see. For everybody that thought he was washed and didn't deserve deserve another chance in the league. I mean, Melo's proving everybody wrong, man. Melo's in a Hall of Famer. As Damian Lillard said, he's a Hall of Famer. He's an icon. And it's great to see. And I want Portland to make the playoffs. And I hope if Portland makes the playoffs and gets into the 8th seed, they're going to push the Lakers like no other team had. Because the Lakers are struggling right now. LeBron's not playing the best. Yes, Anthony Davis had his good moments. But like I said, the Lakers, they can't hit threes. They're not playing their best game right now. LeBron looks uncomfortable. He's not in his rhythm. I'm telling you right now, man, if they get with the Blazers in the first round, it's not going to be easy for the Lakers because the Blazers have been playing playoff-like basketball, do-or-die games the whole time. And Dame has been balling out. CJ has been balling out. Melo. It's not going to be easy, right? I think the Blazers could have a chance of upsetting the Blazers. Sorry, the Blazers can upset the Lakers. My bad. The Blazers can upset the Lakers, and I'm really interested in seeing that. But let's get into my rant right now. I want to get into my rant. This is what I'm going to close off the episode with. So, on Saturday, the Clippers and the Blazers are playing. Dame has 2 free throws at the end of the game. He misses them both, and he misses a game-winning 3, which prompts our boy Patrick Beverley, the ugliest guy next to Draymond Green in the league, and Paul George to taunt him by doing the Dame time thing, saying, laughing, having a joke and stuff like that. First of all, Patrick Beverley, you didn't even play, so shut your mouth, okay? Next, Dame goes in the post-game presser and says he takes this as a sign of respect because he sent Patrick Beverley home in the playoffs and he sent Paul George home in the playoffs last year, as we all know the wave, right? So definitely, I think, and then that again, butthurt Patrick Beverley and Paul George get in the comments saying Cancun on 3, or Paul George saying your ass is getting home sent this year, and then Dame claps back and spits the ultimate mic drop of facts by saying that Paul George is chasing teams to win a ring. And at that point, it was over. It was over for Paul George. Paul George, you have nothing else to say. You could talk about injuries all you want. You could talk about this and that. Bro, shut up. You got served right there. Then Dame goes the next day and drops 51 piece on the 76ers in a win. So, first of all, here's this, Paul George. Shut your mouth. You will never be as good as Damian Lillard. Patrick Beverley, you're a role player. So this is what fired me up. So I thought it was kind of funny, all of that, ha, ha, ha. Then this morning, I'm watching Undisputed with Skip Bayless, and he goes on this rant about, oh, it's not Dame time. I agree with Patrick Beverley and Paul George. What has Damian Lillard done in the NBA? What has he done? Is he a superstar? Is he this, that? Man, Skip Bayless pissed me off so much. I literally threw my phone on the ground, and I literally lost it. Because this is it. What has Paul George or Patrick Beverley done in the NBA? Other than the fact that Paul George is consistently getting game winner shot over his face every time he steps on the court in a playoff series. Who's shooting a game winner over him? Everybody gets a game winner over Paul George. Patrick Beverley, literally, everybody talks about how he's an elite defender. Oh, he's so good at defense. What has he done? Has he ever made a first team all defense? Ever? No. Patrick Beverley is another reason why I hate the NBA, especially the NBA media in certain instances, where you see these guys that get just pumped up by the media and they haven't done shit. What has Patrick Beverley done in the league to deserve all the credit and the praise he gets? What has he done? He's an agitator. He's literally like a fourth line grinder in the NHL. What has Patrick Beverley ever done to deserve all his accolades and all this notoriety he gets? What has he done? I want to know, what has he done? What has Paul George done? What has he done? I'm so confused at the fact why people think, especially, like, I was so mad. Like, Skip Bayless, what the fuck are you talking about? What have they done? Paul George is going to be riding Kawhi's coattails to try to get a chip, right? But just remember this. Who sent you home last year? Who broke up OKC with you and Russ? After you signed a new deal in Oklahoma City. And then you claiming you're on stage with him and Nas, Russ and Nas claiming, oh, I love OKC. I'm here for the long, unfinished business. And as soon as Kawhi calls you the next year, you're back in LA. Bro, you're soft, man. You're soft. Hold it, accept it. You got served by Dame, okay? And Patrick Beverley, man, please, you are a role player. You are not Gary Payton. You are not Jason Kidd. You are not an elite point guard. Man, you are like a bench player, okay? Understand that. Respect that. You're gonna be going to Cancun, I hope. And this is what got me. After that whole weekend and looking back on it and hearing Skip Bayless talk about the Clippers, it pissed me off, man. I was done. It left a bad taste in my mouth. I am off from the Clippers. I do not want the Clippers to win the title. I hope Paul George and Patrick Beverley get their ass sent to Cancun like they deserve. You know what I hope? I hope this happens. I hope when they play the Mavericks in the first round, I hope Luka Doncic hits a game-winning shot over Paul George's face and waves bye-bye to him again. Okay? I am so sick and tired of the Clippers. I know I picked them because I thought they were the most talented, the most depth, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care. I want them to lose. I want to see the Clippers lose. I want to see Patrick Beverley get shut up. I want to see Paul George get shut up. I want to see them get sent home. Okay? I do not want to see them win the title. As much as I love and respect Kawhi, I do not want to see the LA Clippers with Paul George and Patrick Beverley win the title. I do not want to see. I don't care if it's the Lakers, the Rockets, the Thunder, the Nuggets. Hell, I don't care if it's the Blazers. I do not want to see the Los Angeles Clippers in the NBA Finals win the title. I am done with them. I hope that Paul George realizes that he isn't chasing teams. I hope Patrick Beverley realizes that he's a role player. And I hope Skip Bayless realizes this. Bro, you're a clown. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And honestly speaking, I wish I was you, but you're an idiot. I wish I was you because I wish I had your spot with Shannon Sharp because I feel I could do a much better job than you. You're the ultimate troll job, and your Cowboys suck. Anyway, that's my little rant. I'm off on the Clippers. I don't care. I want to see LeBron in the finals. I want to see James Harden in the finals. I want to see Jamal Murray in the finals. I don't care. Anybody but the Los Angeles Clippers I want to see in the finals. I am done with the Clippers. This left a bad taste in my mouth. Paul George and Patrick Beverley ruined it. That's it. I do not care. I'm off on the Clippers. The Clippers are dead to me. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. I want to thank you guys all for your support again. This episode will be up soon. You can follow it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that fun stuff. Stay locked on social media. Stay safe. Wear your mask, guys. And take care. Talk to you soon.